So today's the day. It has been 3 months since we've started the engines on this boat because we've been up in the Philadelphia area. And so we're gonna give it a try, and I'm not expecting any issues. These engines always start right up, and I expect it's probably gonna blow maybe a little bit of blue smoke for a little bit, but we'll see.
One look in your eyes and I find it. When you leave in my mind I rewind it. When you got it this good, you don't fight it.
Okay, well the first thing I need to do is make sure the oil levels are good. I'm sure they're gotta be close. You know, nothing's changed since. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, and before I get a bunch of people telling me I'm supposed to pull it out, wipe it off, and put it back in, these engines have been sitting for 3 months. I don't have to pull it off. I don't have to do it twice. Yeah. So that's fine. Let's send some power to it. Turn on my 32-volt systems over here. And my micro commander. Started right up.
I'm gonna run her back.
Yep. Yes. So that was good. Started right up, and well, I didn't go back. You went back out.
Yeah, less than seconds, 5 seconds tops, maybe.
Yeah, these engines are great. I'll tell you. I know a lot of people with Detroits. I've never seen anyone of Detroits that run as well as ours. I mean, 3 months sitting and a puff of smoke and starts right up.
Hey, you better not at Jinx does.
Yeah, really. So that's good. I think the next thing I'm going to do is check turn the generator on, because that hasn't been on for 3 months as well. So I'll let these warm up just to do it. Then I'll do the generator.
How's our fuel?
Reserve, half a tank, half a tank, half a tank. All 3 tanks are half full.
Yay! How was the water temp?
The water temp's good. The gauges on our lower helm, the temperature gauges don't work right. It's another project, but on the engines, they work fine, and water temp's good. Okay, so now I'm going to start up the generator. I did the same thing. I checked the oil, make sure everything looks good, and I changed the air filter on it. Ridiculously expensive. This is the old air filter. It's a piece of foam.
I know, we could have picked that up anywhere.
Yeah, it cost $60.
We could have got it out of a box at Amazon.
I know. I got to figure out a different source. Not that I have to change this that often, you know, but still, that's ridiculous. $60 for a piece of foam just because they shaped it the right way. Yeah. Anyway, we'll give the generator a start. I don't think it's going to start quite as quickly. It never really does. But we'll see.
What is that?
Okay, I'm going to prime it.
Okay.
So it didn't start right away, and you're not supposed to try too many times because you can get water backwash, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, I think I just need to prime it. I think the fuel probably ran back to the tank and I'm sucking, you know, taking a while to get up there. So I'm going to prime it and then try to start it.
Do you have a priming ball on it?
There's a manual primer on the side of the unit itself, and you just unscrew it and push it, pump it.
Okay.
Okay, so I primed the fuel pump and we'll give it a shot. And there we go.
Yay. I'm in like a
Yeah, it's looking good. 250 volts, which is okay because it just started. Let me put it under load though. Okay. Okay, it's running a little hot. We're at 64 hertz instead of 60, and about 250. But you know, I just started up, so we'll let it find its place. But not that that's anything wrong. You can certainly run everything off 250 and 64 hertz, but it's better when it's 60 and 240. But good, running good. You make sure there's water coming out the side of the boat.
water.
Okay, everything seems to be good with the generator and the engines, so I think the last thing I'll do is I'll check my lithiums just to make sure they're able to run everything and they're all charged up, and that's kind of about it for mechanicals for this time, for this trip. Back to other boat maintenance, I guess.
And we're switching up our algaecide too. We're not putting the same brand on.
Yeah, we're gonna do. We got some at the boat show. We're gonna try that out. In fact, I'm wearing their shirt. Hey, I told you.
You'd wear it.
But yeah, lots of little chores left to do. So get to it. Well, today I'm going to focus on something that I've been procrastinating on for, well, a little while. And that is to fix a very small water leak that we have in the master cabin right above my dresser. Now, this leak's been going on for a couple of years now, but it's very intermittent. In other words, I would one day find maybe a quarter cup of water on top of my dresser, and I thought, well, did I spill a drink? Because then months would go by, I wouldn't see anything else. And then, sure enough, there'd be another little spot of water, and we could just never figure it out. Now, it's right below this wet bar and the air conditioning condenser here, and I thought, well, it's got to be that for sure. Checked all the fittings, no water leaks over here, nothing at all. I could just never figure the thing out, and then it would go away for months and I couldn't find it. So eventually what I did is I got tired of looking, and I ripped up the ceiling, the panels down in the bedroom, looking to see if there was any piping up there or something, and there wasn't. All I could see was the fiberglass ceiling above the panels. And, well, let me explain why that is. Now, this boat originally would have had a wall here, and there would have been a sliding glass door. That's the way these 58s were originally designed. And this area here would have been an outside deck. You would have had a step down onto a fiberglass deck, and this would have been all outside. These walls were added. This originally, instead of glass here, you would have had isinglass or something like that. So this was meant to get wet outside, and there's a fiberglass floor. And then when I rip up the ceiling down in my cabin, all I see is the fiberglass floor. How can water get through that? Well, here's what I found. Over in this corner, about an inch up on the fiberglass wall, there's kind of like a little hole cut, as if at some point they were running, I don't know, speaker wires or something. I have no idea, but there is a way for water to get through and get down. Now, why would there be water under here? I don't know, but I figured there must have been. I cut a hole in the floor and looked down there, and sure enough, right on the fiberglass floor underneath here, there was just a little bit of water, maybe a 1/16 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch maybe. And then that's over here, and then I went over and I drilled another hole over here to see if it was on this side, and yes, it was. There was a tiny bit of water. And so here's what I think is happening. Somehow water is getting down onto this fiberglass floor below this floor. And when the boat rocks just the right way in the right conditions, it must splash up and go through that little hole that is cut in for a wire or whatever it is right above my dresser. So I got to fix that. Now, we have this bamboo floor back here. It was on the boat when we bought it, and we hate it. We've always hated it. Not just the way it looks, it's not our style, but it just did not hold up. It looked nice when we bought the boat, but within a year or two, it started getting water stains on it and started falling apart. It's just not meant to get wet. I would have thought otherwise, but apparently not, because this is not like this area gets flooded, but just from us coming in and out with our bathing suits on from the swim platform, it got stained and deteriorated, and so we hate the floor, and we always wanted to replace it. So I'm not worried about cutting the holes that I did. So I'm going to pull up a little bit of the floor, And because there's two things that I'm looking for. First is, where's the water coming in? Why is there water on that deck? There has to be some place, and I have a suspicion it's somewhere along this wall. I'll show you why in a second. And the other thing is, if there is water down there, why isn't it draining away? This was originally an outside area. This should be water, it's meant to get water in it. And there should be some sort of a drain in the corners, maybe they're clogged, I have no idea. Only way for me to find out is to pull up some of this bamboo floor, which I'm going to do, and it's going to give me a good excuse for going out and buying the floor that we really want and then installing that. Okay, so I cleared this area out, and I have a moisture reader here. And we pulled some of the plugs, and I can feel a little bit of dampness in here. And nothing at the top plugs, a little bit of dampness there too. And I've tested with the meter. I really don't have anything here, but if I come down here, I'm reading moisture. Not there, but here, right and around here. But I'm not reading anything up by the window. So I'm not suspecting right now that there's any leaks in the window area. This all seems good, it's all good there, but I do have some moisture here. This wall, I'm not getting any moisture below the window too either until I get it right around here. Well, right there. Okay, and then I'm getting it a little bit in this area, which I don't know if that's because I'm close to, you know, when it rains. I have no idea, but I'm basically, so what I'm finding is I got a little bit of moisture reading here, a little bit here, nothing underneath the windows. Obviously you can see water damage here. It's not really...
That could be surface.
Okay, getting a little bit of moisture reading there, here. So I'm not really sure what that's about. All I know is that I'm not getting anything under the windows, which is probably a good thing, because I hate to think I have to reseat windows or something like that. I'm not getting anything up on the wall, but right at the edges and on the floor. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to take the saw and I'm going to bring up this little section here and see if I can find water coming in. Maybe we'll have to go outside and spray a hose. I have no idea. It might take us a while. But I also want to look and see, because I'm expecting there should be some sort of a drain, I would think in the corner here.
Well, there is one outside.
Yeah, but that's up too. This is there. What I'm going to find under here is that this floor, there was a step down to come here. So there's probably like 2x6s. Running across here that are on top of the fiberglass floor below it. That's what I'm expecting to find. Maybe a 2x6, and then you got probably a 3/4 inch plywood and then 3/4 inch flooring to give us about 7.5 inches up. That's what I think anyway. But we'll know when I open it up. And like I said, I'm not worried about damaging this floor because look at it. It looks like hell. So time for it to go anyway.
Yeah, it's really didn't last long with us.
No, but it wasn't our fault. This is just not the right floor. I mean,
You figured bamboo would be.
yeah, you would think, but it just peeled right up. And we have tiger wood down below in the hallways, and we use tiger wood at our house as well, even in the kitchen where, you know, things spill all the time and the dishwasher, you know, drips and all kinds of things happen there, and it just holds up really well. So we're thinking we're going to take this out and we're going to do tiger wood if we can find it.
Yep.
That's what I would prefer. So we'll see.
Roger out.
Let's get the saw.
What are you, wrecking the floor?
See if I can lift this. There we go. What I see is water.
Well,
Water that should not be there and should have drained. Look a little bit moist here. I don't know. I'm going to clean it up and see if I can. That's It's not rotted or anything, but it is moist. But then everything is a little bit.
Is that cedar?
I don't know what it is.
Mahogany?
Whatever it is, it's in good shape. No rot, nothing.
Probably mahogany then.
I don't know, but it's, you know, for being wet, it's solid. This didn't go anywhere.
Should be interesting to find out.
I'm surprised it's only 1/2 inch plywood. I would have thought it would have been 3/4. But I guess maybe depends how far the these stringers are apart. It may not need to be that. Okay, well, a couple of things we've discovered so far. First of all, there wasn't nearly as much water under here as I thought. When I lifted it up and I saw that water, I was like, oh my gosh. However, the floor is curved, so all the water goes to the sides. That side, the starboard side, is completely dry. There's not a drop of water over there. And over here, we sucked it all out with the shop vac, and I don't know, maybe we got 2 gallons out of it, so it wasn't nearly that much water. But still, 2 gallons is 2 gallons, and where is it coming from? Now, what we are going to do is we've vacuumed it out. We are going to dry everything, and then we're going to go outside with a hose and squirt things around and see if we can find some kind of a leak, because we don't want any water under there. The other thing we realized is that the only drain is actually on the other side of this wall. And you'd think they would have put like some kind of a through, but I guess they never anticipated water getting in here. So that's why once water gets in, there's no place for it to drain. The drain is on the other side of this, and there's no way through. I don't know whether I'm going to drill a hole or not. If I find the leak spot where it's coming from, and we can solve that permanently, I won't ever have to worry about it again. Otherwise, maybe I would put a little tiny hole there so that water could escape if it should ever get in. I don't know. We'll play it by ear, but we're making some progress anyway. Okay, well, we dried out this area and then squirted all the windows down, the hoses. We spent about an hour trying to recreate the leak, and we couldn't. And we even sprayed around this this pole here, which is for the davit, and nothing came in. But however, we're speculating that maybe there's water inside of this tube. So I've taken out the floor all the way to the tube to see, and there is a lot of water here. Not a lot, but it's damp and wet here. So we're going to dry this off and try squirting and see if we're able to somehow get inside the tube and see if maybe that's how water is getting here. But there's never been anything on the outside. We know that, and it doesn't leak at the ceiling at all. And I've recently caulked around the top as well. But we'll see. We're making some progress, I think. I hope. Be sure to join us next week when Ed rips up the floor and finally finds that mysterious leak, while Lynn continues with our reupholstering projects.